Now. We continue our election coverage, and we'll start with New York this hour, where residents are deciding on who the next governor will be. Will they actually elect the unelected Kathy Hochul, who slipped in for Governor Cuomo, or will they make a change and pick Lee Zeldin, a Republican congressman? The crime surge is top of mind for voters there. Take a look at the cover of today's New York Post. They went with this: vote to save our state. They actually had a picture of Lee Zeldin placed at the ballot box. Now, the Post also quoting some of the city's subway riders here, quote, Kathy Hochul not admitting we have a real problem. She's cherry-picking statistics on gun violence and ignoring the real problem about crime on the subway. Here's what another New Yorker said, quote, I've always been a Democratic voter, but I am willing to take a chance on Zeldin to see if he can fix the crime. Crime number one on the minds of voters in New York. Let's welcome in now former New York City Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik, who's also with us, Peter King, former congressman from New York. Gentlemen, great to have you both with us. And great to talk about this issue with you, because I know you guys know the voters in New York very well. And of course, this issue, I'm here in New York now, and I am struck by the campaign commercials. Congressman King, we'll start with you. I mean, when you watch the campaign commercials, they're omnipresent. They're every single commercial break. But it's Lee Zeldin talking about crime and then Kathy Hochul talking about abortion. Which one of these issues, though, do you think is really most important for the voters of New York?
Well, there's no doubt the most important is crime, and also politically it's crime. The fact is that Democrats overplayed their hand with abortion. A recent poll showing that 27%, this was a 27% turnaround among suburban women as far as going from Democrat to Republican, and that's despite weeks and weeks and weeks of abortion ads. Now, crime is the issue, and it's real. For Kathy Hochul or Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton to somehow suggest this is make-believe, I mean, no one would understand this more than Bernie Kerik. But just as a citizen, I can tell you, New York is not safe. It used to be there were certain neighborhoods you stayed away from. Now it doesn't matter where you are. You're vulnerable, especially on the subways. And that is terrifying. Subways can be terrifying enough. There's no way to escape. You're there. And the fact is the criminals throwing people on the tracks, throwing them down the trains, terrorizing them. It's just absolutely it's terrible. So this is a real crime. It's out of control. And Lee Zeldin knows that. He's going to address it. He's going to realize it. He's going to stand with the cops. He's going to do all he can to reform the bail reform bill, change it, get rid of it. It's an absolute disaster.
So much of the coverage focused on Lee Zeldin right now, Bernie, at least from my perspective as someone who just got here a few days ago, is focused on something he cannot control. He cannot unilaterally change the abortion law in the state of New York, but what he can do is get rid of Alvin Bragg, reverse some of these soft on crime policies. And I think New Yorkers are smart enough to figure that out. What Lee Zeldin can actually do is make their communities safer, and Kathy Hochul seems to wish all that away, like that's not actually possible, but he can do that.
Well, listen, Congressman King was there with us, with Rudy Giuliani and I and the others in New York City back in the 90s when the Renaissance of New York City was created. And the bottom line was that Rudy strongly believed that nobody wanted to visit, work, live, go to school in a place that wasn't safe. We're going back to the days pre-Giuliani. And that's why I think you're going to have a major, major victory in New York. I think people are sick of the crime. You know, you can talk about abortion only to an extent. Crime infestation in New York City is overwhelming at this point in the mass transit system, on the Upper East Side, on the Upper West Side, down in the Village, all over New York City. We're seeing a major spike, major surge in crime. And the governor actually is responsible. She should have repealed the bail reform laws. She should have gotten rid of Alvin Bragg already a year ago. She didn't do not one thing to help. And I think we're going to see what happens as a result of her failures today.
And a lot of people say she didn't want to turn back those policies because she wanted the support of the National Democratic Party, and doing those things is contra to what they actually believe. And you know, the other thing too, you flip on the news here, there was a woman who was raped in the West Village, normally a safe neighborhood, at least it's thought that way. And you know, this is the stuff that New Yorkers are seeing. There was a subway attack too, I think, in the South Bronx yesterday, a knife attack too. But these are the headlines that New Yorkers are seeing as they head to the polls. Gentlemen, thank you for spending your time with us. Always appreciate your insight. And of course, we'll be watching New York, and We would love to get your feedback when we do get the results in. Former Congressman Peter King and former New York City Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik. Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thanks, John.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
real news
For real people.